ball. Okay, we're going to root down on the right. We're going to create a T stance. Actually, let's just do without hands first, okay? T stance. Okay, going over our feet alignment. T stance, storing the energy. The energy has to come through the system to get out to a bow stance. But first we have to get into an L stance. On an L stance, all it means is to come out and to the side. Out and to the side, show me with your hand. Out and to the side. But in one motion, on your heel of your left, it belongs here. Where? Here. Okay? But the energy now stays with your back foot until I tell you, okay? T stance, L stance. Now, move the energy through the system all the way up and all the way down to the tips of your toes. Bow stance, bow and arrow. Don't lock in the back knee. Don't go beyond the knee of the toes of your, don't put your knee beyond your toes of your front. Sit back and sit down. Pivot, root down on the left, capital T, out and to the side, L, move the energy all the way through their system, place it down firmly, bow stance. Sit back and sit down. Pivot, root down and obey gravity on the right, T stance. Take an L, move that energy through the system, turn your hips and waist, bow stance. Sit back, sit down, pivot, firm down or root down or ground down on a T stance, out on an L, move the energy, turn the hips and waist, firm down, bow stance. Okay, sit down, sit back, sit down, twist step. Then we're gonna add our hands. Left hand 2 inches below your navel, T stance, right hand about chest level, bring your elbows in, okay? Here we go. T stance, L. Move the energy, bottom hand advances to go up the horse's mane. Bow stance. Sit back and sit down. Twist step. T stance, center with a ball. Right foot ready to go, bottom hand is right. Here we go. Step out on an L. Move the energy from the back all the way to the tips of the finger. Bow stance. Sit back, sit down. Twist step. T stance. L stance. Move that energy. Bottom hand advances. Bow stance. Sit back and sit down. Twist step. T stance. Holding your ball for centering. L stance. Turn the hips and waist. Move the energy out to the tips of your finger. Part the wild horse's mane. Sit back and sit down. Twist step. T stance. Okay, you stored enough energy. Now we're going to do an L. Move that energy up and through your system, out to the tips of your finger, bow stance. Sit back, sit down. Twist step. T stance. Store that energy, L. Move the energy, bottom hand advances, turn the hips and waist, bow stance. Sit back and sit down, and pause at holding your ball on a T stance. Then we went on to learn a multitasking, more fun, but a little bit more challenging movement, where we were on a T because it dictates us, T, L, bow. But in this situation, we're not parting the wild horse's mane, but we're doing a brush knee. In a brush knee, we have one hand that's higher and one hand that's lower. The lower hand, the fingers point to your shoulder, whereas the other one is like it's catching a ball coming across this way. And we're on a T stance, and we're gonna do this, but 3 things happen. So I shouldn't be up this way. I should be storing the energy, because if I'm up this way, I have 2 weighted feet, but I want to sink down and obey gravity to allow the one foot to be weightless to advance, okay? So I'm like this, and I'm in a T, and the feet alignment dictates that I'm going to go into an L stance. So here I go into an L stance, but three things happen. The top hand comes to the ear, the bottom hand comes down. Here it goes 3. Then I'm going to what? Move the energy, turn my hips and waist, and I'm going to brush my knee. Sit back, and I'm going to sit down because that's what the choreograph says. Twist step, rooting down to store the energy. On a T, I have it set up correctly. One hand higher, one hand to the shoulder. When I'm ready to move, I do 3 things. Ear, hand, and heel. Then what? How do I get out to a bow stance? I move the energy from the back, I turn my hips and waist, my hands go for the ride. Okay? Let's see if we can do that now, okay? So, here we go. Setting up our foot, right foot straight away or parallel to the line. Left foot weightless on a stem of a T. Left hand to the shoulder, right hand up higher. And am I this way? No. I'm pretty much squared, sort of, slight angle to my right foot. I'm not totally this way, but I'm slightly turned towards the left, but not turned this way and prematurely, neither turned to the side this way. Okay? So gently, slightly to glance at that top hand. Right hand is higher. Its fingers are probably above your head. The left hand doesn't sit onto your chest, but almost as if it's parallel to the chest, equidistance away, with the fingertips on the shoulder, pointing towards the shoulder. We want to warm up one thing. The top hand comes to the head. How? Top hand comes to the head. Hey, that's easy. All you do is use your core and bring it in. You don't just concentrate on your arm, okay? Use your core, bring it in. That's more powerful. Then the second thing that happens is that the left hand just drops down. How does it drop down? There. It doesn't do any curving, it just drops down all together. Ear and hand, out, ear and hand. But that makes us want to do something else. We can't just stay here and do this. We have to set it up. We have to bring out our left heel. Here we go, on an L stance. Ear, hand down, heel. Now what? How are we going to brush our knee? Move the energy, turn the hips and waist. Hands just get there by themselves. Sit back and sit down. Twist step, root down for gravity. T stance, left hand higher, right hand to your shoulder. Warm it up. First the ear, ear and hand, ear and hand. 3 things, here we go. Ear, hand, and heel. Move the energy, turn the hips and waist, swing that hip. Bow stance, brush knee. Sit back and sit down. Twist step, root down. Right hand higher, left hand to the shoulder, T stance. Actually, this stance helps us to center. It's almost like holding the ball. We're centered. Now we can move 3 things at a time. Ear, hand, and heel. Now what? Move the energy, turn the hips and waist, power through the front, brush your knee. Sit back and sit down. Twist step, root down for gravity. T stance. All together, ear and hand and heel. Turn the hips and waist, move the energy to the tips of your finger. Sit back and sit down. Twist step. T stance. L stance. Bow stance. Then take a peek at me. Am I obeying my Tai Chi posture? Am I chasing after my front hand, or am I straight up? Everybody should be straight up. Pointing finger should be like your backbone, okay? Sit back and sit down. Twist step. T stance. L stance. Turn the hips and waist, brush your knee. Sit back and sit down. Twist step. T-stance. This one we have to do everything together. Let's try. Ear and hand and heel. Now what? Turn the hips and waist, move that energy, spin that hips all the way across to square with that left foot. So both hips are square to the left foot. Then look at your knee, your front knee and your toe. Are they lined up, or is your knee kind of gravitating beyond your knee? If it is, you don't have Tai Chi posture, so you're going to have to pull that knee back. Okay? Sit back and sit down. Twist step, root down, T-stance. All together. Ear, hand goes down, heel goes out. Energy is moved. Turn the hips and waist, both stance. So the more energy or the more you have in the turn of your hips and waist, the better can you brush your knee, okay? Root down, T-stance, all together. Turn the hips and waist, flatten down, bow stance. Sit back, sit down, twist, step, shift your weight, T-stance. All together, ear, hand down, heel down, turn hips and waist, brush knee. Sit back, sit down, twist step. Right hand higher, left hand to your shoulder, all together, ear, hand and heel. What? Turn hips and waist, move that energy, bow stance. Sit back, sit down, twist step, T stance, L stance, bow stance. Sit back, sit down, twist step, hold your ball on a T stance. Okay? Okay, your turn to watch, okay? Look for something that perhaps you can incorporate, okay? I'm gonna turn this way so that you have that same orientation. Okay, I'm going to give you a front view now. I'm not going to say too much because you're doing a lot of observing, absorbing, and also thinking through the process. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to put some words to it. Sit back, sit down. Twist step, root down. Set it up correctly. Multitask. Move the energy. Turn the hips and waist fully. Therefore, the hand, brush the knee. Sit back, sit down. Twist step, root down. Set it up correctly. Multitask, turn hips and waist, move that energy, fully turn. Okay, ready to try it after I do one more set, and you pick up those last bits of information that you want to teach yourselves how to do. okay?
Because most of you are new, what Lucille just did was try to introduce you to the language and the words, the key words that she uses. So you may not be able to hear her see her at times, but if you hear and you know the meaning of it, that helps you, gives you a cue, hopefully, on what you should be doing. And she's amazing. It's like a square dance caller. She knows the words to use, and she has her language, and it's for you, if you continue here, to learn that language to your advantage in terms of learning how to do the physical movements.
Okay, ready for the calls? We're going to square dance. All right. So, setting it up correctly. T stance. Left hand to the shoulder, right hand up higher. We're going to do this, but we're also going to do this, right? But we're not straight-legged, right? We want to root down, because if you're straight-legged, you're going to stumble when you have two weighted feet. You don't know, your body does not know which is the weightless foot. So we're going to need to store the energy by flexing on that right or back knee or leg, setting it up. Multitask. Turn the hips and waist, move the energy, swing it all the way over to brush your knee. Sit back and sit down. Twist, step, root down to store energy. T stance. All together. L stance, turn the hips and waist, brush knee. Sit back, sit down. Twist, step, root down, set up the hand. Multitask, turn the hips and waist, firm down, brush knee. Sit back, sit down, twist, step, T stand, set it up. All together, turn hips and waist, brush your knee. Sit back, sit down, twist, step. Right hand higher, T stance. L stance, bow stance. Sit back, sit down, twist, step, root down, T stance. L stance, turn hips and waist, bow stance. Sit back, sit down, twist step, hold your ball. Hold your ball, okay? And root down, okay? You should feel very, very relaxed at this point, okay? Nothing is raised. Everything is sinking down, obeying gravity. This is Tai Chi, okay? So you feel your legs, maybe your knees, maybe your upper body a little bit, feeling a bit of warmth and maybe a little stress, but that's the good stuff, okay? So can you see that your body is nice and warmed up? It knows what gravity is. It's giving you that safety valve. And then you can move safely. Simple, okay? But we have to train our body.